Hi, my name is Devin Hitu, and I spoke at the March for Our Lives Providence, and I'm also a member of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence.
How radical are you?
I'm 17.
Okay.
So I'm from a small town in southern Rhode Island called Westerly, and the biggest problem I've been getting when trying to get youth involved is that they're afraid to express their opinion. What is your advice for this?
This isn't an opinion, it's a fact. That's the first thing, that there is a truth in this, that policies will do X or they will correlate with this and it will stop this much violence and save this many lives. So it's not about an opinion, because we don't deal with opinions, we deal with hard facts. And there's no age restrictions, there's no height restrictions, there's no time restrictions, there's zip code restrictions on facts. And so when it's about young people being scared to speak up, my biggest fault to me, and I say this everywhere we go, is that I thought I was doing enough for this issue before March for Our Lives, before the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I had posted about every school shooting that had happened, every mass shooting that happened. I posted things. I even made like a mini documentary about like gun laws, like in 2014, because I was a film student. I was like, okay, this is my part. I'm fighting my fight. I'm doing my best. And then the shooting happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and I realized that I had not been fighting as hard as I could. And my ask to people, and I quote Emma on this, she says, fight for your life before it's someone else's job. Stand up before this affects you. And so when people are scared to say their opinions or to stand up, they have to realize, 96 people are dying every day. This is a problem in this country that will not stop until enough people speak up and say their opinion or their facts, right? And so there's a statistic that came to me, that came across my desk a few days ago. 21,000 plus young people will be shot and killed by 2020, by the 2020 election, if we don't do something now. And that's why we're putting so much pressure on November 6th. That's why we're putting so much pressure on registering voters and swapping out leadership, because if we're not acting now, it's literally life or death. And it might be hard for people to realize that when they're in a small town. We're from a small town. Like, no one expected something like this to happen in Parkland. But the reality is it could happen anywhere, and it could affect anyone. And if we're not standing up now before it happens to you, before it happens to whatever community, then we're just letting this continue, and we're letting the violence perpetuate, and we're not actively doing the right thing.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing.